So even though I was born and raised in Hawaii, there are some things that even I, as a local, have never done here. And at the risk of losing my local credibility and kama'aina status, I'm willing to put it out there. 5 things that I've never done here as a local in Hawaii. And I'm sure you're gonna get some local people thinking, oh, come on, brother, how can? You sure you want local? Lose money. But I just want the opportunity to sort of explain myself. And surely I can't be the only local who's never done these things, right? Gosh, I hope not. So I've never actually surfed. I know it sounds crazy, right? Someone from Hawaii who's never surfed. But if you know about me and you've seen some of my past videos, you know that I'm not really a big fan of the beach. It's just something that I never really grew up going to that often. I mean, we would go when we were little kids, but as I got older, I just never really went to the beach. A lot of my friends weren't really into surfing, so I didn't really know anyone who could show me or take me. I've always viewed surfing as kind of boring and a little inactive, at least when you're not into it. And it doesn't mean that the people who do it aren't athletic, because they seem very athletic and there's a lot of skill to that sport. But from a casual standpoint, it just seems like a lot of waiting around. This is just purely based on observation, and if I am incorrect, then please correct me in the comments below. But surfing seems to be like, you go out there, you prep your board with wax, and you get out there on the water, and you are lying down on the board, and you paddle out there, and you're kind of just hanging around and waiting and talking story to other people, and you might catch one wave every, I don't know, 20, 30 minutes? I don't know, but it seems like with surfing, there's some sort of pecking order, right? And you can't catch every single wave unless nobody is around you, so you're gonna have to stay and wait. And I would think that the better surfers want to catch the better waves. And so what that means is if you're a beginner or you're a novice, you're just starting out, or your skill isn't as high, you'll be catching a lot of trash waves. And because you can't control the wave frequency or even the wave quality, you're gonna be stuck there not knowing how much surfing you actually do. So even though you say you may go surfing for 2 hours, the actual time of real surfing might be less than 15 minutes? I don't know. Now you contrast that with another sport like snowboarding, where you actually have control of how often you participate. I mean, you gotta go up the lift, you gotta go up the mountain. But once you do that, nobody is stopping you in terms of how long you can snowboard. You can just go down as much as you want, because most of these runs are fairly wide and you don't really have to wait for anyone. There's no order, you just go and do it. I also think with surfing, it's kind of weather dependent, where every day you have to wake up and you gotta see how the waves are, and that determines whether or not you do that activity. And especially nowadays, I can't be waiting around that morning to figure out if I want to go surf or do something. It's too short notice, and so I don't think that it would just really fit my lifestyle. Okay, hopefully I didn't upset too many of the surfers there, but the second thing that I've never done is I've never eaten poke. Now, I like seafood, I like fish, and I like shrimp, but I've never eaten poke because I don't really like raw fish. I've eaten raw fish before in Japan and even here locally, but poke has just never really interested me. I know it's a really big deal, and my wife absolutely loves poke. She loves Off the Hook, that's her absolute favorite. But every time we go there, I just order for her and I just go eat something else. And you know, perhaps for me, it'll be a green eggs and ham moment, where I'll try it one of these days and it'll absolutely blow my mind, and I will be a poke aficionado. I guess I don't really understand poke, because to me, it seems like it's not so much the quality of the fish, it's the quality of the sauce. That's what you're paying for, that sauce that is marinating the fish, and all these different flavors. That's what people love talking about when they eat it on top of the rice. And I know that fish is very expensive. I'm just trying to reason in my mind, if I'm paying so much for this poke bowl per pound or quarter pound, and I'm not really eating the fish, I'm more so enjoying the flavors, I'd rather just have the poke sauce on top of rice and then just eat that. Again, there are some wonderful places that serve really good poke, as I'm told and as my wife tells me, but it's just something that I've never tried, and I don't think I'm gonna be trying it anytime soon. Just again, because I prefer plainer foods, but I know that poke is a big deal here in Hawaii, and part of me does wish I could join in and, oh yeah, that's so good. Oh, I love that. Yeah. But it's just, I don't know. I just don't really want to, and I'm just not really that interested. I know, just dismissed poke. Probably lost all the food people on that one. The third thing I've never done here in Hawaii is I've never drank Kona coffee or Kauai coffee or frankly any coffee. I've never had coffee in my life. That was it's been a very interesting experience because as my friends growing up in college and even some in high school were staying up late drinking coffee, waking up early to go and drink coffee, going to Starbucks and all these places, I've never drank coffee before. So those late nights when I had to study or if I just had to wake up early, I just did it. I just made sure that I got enough sleep. Again, it's nothing against Kona coffee or Kauai coffee or any of the local coffees here. It's just something that I've never really been interested in, and I love the cookies and the smell is interesting, but because I don't drink coffee, it's something that for me I probably will never drink. And the fourth thing I've never done here as a local is I've never watched Magnum PI, Hawaii 5-0, or NCIS Hawaii, basically any of these Hawaii-based shows. Now, I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that I don't watch a lot of TV anyway to begin with. I'm not really interested in watching a show about where I'm living, especially because I know it's not really how it is. And I don't know about you, but if you're a local person and you watch some of these shows, there's been times where I've watched movies or other things where I'm like, I know where that is, and then they cut to the next scene and it's like all the way across the island, and I'm like, wait, how did they get there so fast? How did they just cross the street and now they're on the other side of the island? That makes absolutely no sense. So it kind of takes it out for me in terms of the storytelling, and it almost becomes a little of a distraction. But I do think it's amazing that we actually do have a film industry here. From an economic standpoint, these shows do bring a lot to the local economy in terms of filmmaking and that film industry with a lot of local hires here. So that's absolutely wonderful with, of course, all the tax credits that they do receive. But I think it'd be nice to expand maybe from a creative standpoint, local artists or local filmmakers or even local content creators like me, making videos on YouTube or other social media platforms that maybe aren't a big Hollywood budget, but we're still out here making content and we're showing parts of Hawaii. Now, the last thing I've never done in Hawaii is I've never visited all of the major Hawaiian islands. And I don't think that I'm alone in this. I think most local residents have not been to all of the Hawaiian islands. Now, more specifically, I've never been to Molokai, Ni'ihau, Kaho'olawe, and Lanai. For Molokai, I'd love to visit Kalaupapa because I did this research project fairly recently, on the life of Father Damien and the work that he did there. And to me, it'd be wonderful just to have the opportunity to go and visit and just observe and just see how life is or was back then. For Ni'ihau, well, it's invite only, so I don't know if I'll ever get an opportunity to go there, but I think it'd just be interesting to just go and visit. For Lanai, well, I'd probably just go there for golf, maybe just to walk around a little bit on the beaches, maybe go out on a boat, I don't know. And then of course Kaho'olawe, where it's uninhabitable and there's continuous cleanup going on there. I sort of had this opportunity to go there for work, but it just never really panned out, but it would have been wonderful. And so with that, those are just some of the things that I've never done here in Hawaii as a local. Hope I didn't lose my Kama'aina status based on some of the things that I mentioned. And you know what? I think it's okay that you don't have to do all the things that most people do or what your state is known for. I mean, just because you live in Colorado or Utah doesn't mean that you like skiing or snowboarding. And not everyone who lives in Kentucky has been to a horse race. And so maybe I'll get around to doing these things one day in the future, and who knows, it gives me something to look forward to, and maybe I'll actually like these things. So thanks for watching, and aloha.